Good afternoon. Welcome. This is the May 13th, 2021 meeting of the New York City Banking Commission. I'm Mary Christine Jackman, Assistant Commissioner and Treasurer for the Department of Finance of the City of New York. I represent the New York City Commissioner of Finance, Sharif Solomon, on the Banking Commission. I would like to start by introducing the other members of the Banking Commission. Mayor de Blasio's representative, Chief Strategy Officer for the Deputy Mayor of Operations, Julie Barrow, and City Comptroller Stringer's representative, Assistant Comptroller for Economic Development, Brian Cook. The purpose of today's meeting is for the Banking Commission to vote on its fiscal year 2022 discount rate and interest rate recommendations for the early and late payment of property taxes, transference of an existing popular Banking Development District, BDD, deposit from its now closed East Houston Street branch to its Delancey Street branch in Manhattan, and a new BDD deposit of $10 million also for Popular Bank. The Commission would like to welcome members of the public who have joined us today via Microsoft Teams live teleconference. A recording of these proceedings will also be posted on the Banking Commission website of the Department of Finance. I will now call the roll. Roll call. Julie Barrow, Mayor's Office, Chief Strategy Officer, Deputy Mayor for Operations.
Good morning, present.
Brian Cook, Comptroller's Office, Assistant Comptroller for Economic Development.
Present.
Mary Christine Jackman, Assistant Commissioner and Treasurer. Present. We have a quorum. We can now conduct the business of the meeting. First, acceptance of the May 13th, 2020 Banking Commission meeting minutes. The May 13th, 2020 Banking Commission meeting minutes have been circulated and there were no previous comments. Are there any comments now? May I please have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 13th, 2020 Banking Commission meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
May I have a second, please?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carried. Next, fiscal year 2020 interest rate recommendations. On our next agenda item is the annual recommendation of interest rates for early and late payment of property taxes in fiscal year 2022. As required by 1519A of the New York City Charter and 11-224.1 of the Administrative Code, each year the Banking Commission is responsible for recommending those interest rates to the City Council no later than May 13th. No pressure. Fiscal year 2022 discount rate recommendation. The Banking Commission recommends that the discount rate for the early payment of property taxes for fiscal year 2022 remain at 50 basis points, which is unchanged from fiscal year 2021. Fiscal year 2022 penalty rate recommendations. The city's current fiscal year 2021 penalty rates for the late payment of property taxes were 3.25 for the first quarter, and 5.0 for the second, third, and fourth quarters of fiscal year 2021 for properties with assessed values no more than $250,000, and 18% for properties with assessed values greater than $250,000. The Banking Commission recommends the following for fiscal year 2022 penalty rates. 3.25% in the first quarter, July 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2021, for the late payment of taxes for properties with assessed values no more than $250,000 for fiscal year 2022. 4.5% in the second, third, and fourth quarters, October 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, for the late payment of taxes for properties with assessed values no more than $250,000 for fiscal year 2022. 12% for the late payment of taxes for properties with assessed values greater than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000 for fiscal year 22, in accordance with Local Law 24 of 2021. 18% for the late payments of taxes for properties with assessed values greater than $450,000 for fiscal year 22. There were a number of factors considered in making these recommendations, including the city's need to encourage timely payment of property taxes to ensure the provision of vital services, the penalty rates charged by other comparable tax collectors across the country, interest rates charged for real estate secured consumer loans, and the current interest rate environment. The Federal Reserve is signaling no rate hikes in 2021, citing high unemployment and a weakened economy due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials stress that they are patient and flexible in deciding further to adjust borrowing costs. The Banking Commission also recommends that the administration and City Council adopt local legislation to repeat the COVID relief program developed last year to provide additional help for those negatively impacted by the pandemic during the first quarter of fiscal year 22, whereby property owners impacted by COVID and whose properties have an assessed value of no more than $250,000 will pay zero interest, and some property owners impacted by COVID and whose properties have an assessed value greater than $250,000 will pay 7.5% interest. Are there any comments or questions regarding these interest rate recommendations?
I'd like to make just a very quick comment.
Yes, please.
I'd like to thank the Department of Finance and the Mayor's Office for working with us in regards to looking at setting some of the lowest rates for property owners as we have established in the city. This will be a strong benefit for people facing income instability in the coming months as we've run through the tail end of our recovery and hopefully enter in a very strong next fiscal year. I greatly appreciate the work that was done throughout the last week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian Cook.
I'd also like to make brief remarks.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and my thanks to you, Assistant Commissioner Jackman, as well as Commissioner Solomon and all the DOF staff who really did a lot of thoughtful work on this year's proposals. The administration supports the recommendations to maintain the discount rate that has, we feel really proven to encourage early payment. And further, the administration supports the penalty rate recommendations, which extend the relief granted last year during this once-in-a-century pandemic, especially for New Yorkers with properties assessed with values no more than $250,000, and with the addition of this new middle bracket this year. We really feel these proposals recognize the significant strains of COVID-19 on New Yorkers across the city, while also funding critical services that help our city thrive. So we really feel the recommendations strike a needed balance between relief and revenue that will help solidify a strong foundation for the city's recovery. So thank you again.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, I will now read the 3 interest rate resolutions and we will vote after I have completed each resolution. All right. Resolution number 1, fiscal year 2020 early property tax payment discount rate. Recommendation. Whereas the decrease in interest rates due to the COVID-19 pandemic has caused the city to earn less income than it had previously on property taxes paid early, from April 2020 to May 2021, New York City's quarterly average rates on its investments ranged from 0.13 to 0.11% in comparison to fiscal year 2020, where the rates ranged from 1.09% to 2.16%. And whereas the Banking Commission's impact analysis for fiscal year 2022 projects that this return on investment rate will result in $1.8 million of interest earned on taxes collected early at 50 basis points and an additional estimated $1.3 million in invoicing and administrative costs. This will not offset estimates of foregone tax revenue of $10.1 million, discount given, plus foregone interest income on foregone taxes of $14,000, resulting in a net loss in revenue to the city of approximately $7 million. And whereas New York City cash flow projection for June 30th, 2021, the end of fiscal year 21 is $5.4 billion. At the close of fiscal year 2020 on June 30th, actual cash on hand at the close of that business day was $6.8 billion, a difference of $1.4 billion. The lower cash flow projections for June 30th justifies the retention of a discount rate to encourage the early payment of property taxes in July. However, the Banking Commission does not recommend increasing the discount rate from 50 basis points to 100 basis points, as a 1% rate most likely would not materially increase the cash flow, but would further reduce the city's net income from $8.3 million to $18.5 million. And whereas there is no economic reason for the Banking Commission to change the discount rate of 50 basis points in fiscal 2022, the impact of having this discount rate in place translates to a total net loss to the city of approximately $7 million. If the council default rate of 19.5% were to be invoked, the city's net loss would decrease to $2 million. But if the Banking Commission were to increase the discount rate to 100 basis points, this would result in an even greater net negative of $18.5 million. Now, therefore, be it resolved. The Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the discount rate for the early payment of property taxes shall remain at 50 basis points per annum for fiscal year 2022, and be it further resolved that said discount rate is to be offered only for the portion of real estate tax that is paid before the due date. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
May I please have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 2, fiscal year 2022, late property tax payment interest rate recommendation for properties assessed no more than $250,000. Whereas pursuant to the New York City Administrative Code 11-224.1, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to City Council no later than the 13th day of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for properties with an assessed value of not more than $250,000 or not more than $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops. And whereas the proposed interest rate shall be at least equal to the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans extended to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city, the prime rate, and whereas the Banking Commission notes that as of May 13, 2021, said prime rate stands at 3.25% as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, and whereas it is in the city's best interest to encourage the prompt payment of real estate taxes by all taxpayers, and whereas many property tax owners whose properties are assessed at no more than $250,000 have been adversely affected by the economic consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the lowest interest rate that the Banking Commission can legally recommend for this category of property owners is the current prime rate of 3.25. And whereas decreasing the current penalty rate of 5% to 3.25 in the first quarter and 4.5 for the second, third, and fourth quarters in fiscal year 2022 for assessed properties valued at no more than $250,000 is consistent with past year's decreases and the current Federal Reserve position of holding rates at current levels. And whereas the property tax balance amount past due decreased from $419.8 million in fiscal 2020 to $389.2 million in fiscal 2021, a decrease of 7.3% or or a decrease of $30.6 million. And whereas the amount past due for quarterly accounts assessed properties less than $250,000 decreased from 11.9% to 9%, or a decrease of 24.5%. The city's overall past due rate went from 12.66% in fiscal 2020 to 9.89% in fiscal 2021. Now, therefore, be it resolved. The Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for all properties with an assessed value of not more than $250,000 or not more than $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops be reduced from 5% per annum to 3.25% in the first quarter and 4.5% per annum for the second, third, and fourth quarters for tax year 2022. And be it further resolved, the Banking Commission also requests that the administration and City Council adopt local legislation to repeat the COVID relief program developed last year to provide additional help for those who have demonstrated continued hardship caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
So
Motion
moved.
to approve.
May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 3. Fiscal year 2022 late property tax payment interest rate recommendation for the properties assessed greater than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000. Whereas pursuant to Local Law 24 of 2021, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to the City Council no later than the 13th of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for properties with an assessed value of more than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000, or more than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000 per residential unit for co-ops. And whereas said provisions of Local Law 24 require the Banking Commission to propose a rate at least 4 percentage points greater than the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans extended to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city, the prime rate. Whereas the Banking Commission notes for the record that as of May 13th, 2021, said prime rate stands at 3.25% as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. And whereas it is in the city's best interest to encourage the prompt payment of real estate taxes by all taxpayers, now therefore be it resolved. The Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of real property taxes where the assessed value of a property is more than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000, or more than $250,000, but less than or equal to $450,000 per residential unit for co-ops, be set at 12% per annum for fiscal year 2022. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Resolution number 4. Fiscal year 2022 late property tax payment interest rate recommendation for properties assessed greater than $450,000. Whereas pursuant to the New York City Administrative Code 11-224.1, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to the City Council no later than the 13th of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for properties with an assessed value of more than $450,000 or more than $450,000 per residential unit for co-ops. And whereas said provisions of the Administrative Code require the Banking Commission to propose a rate of at least 6 percentage points per annum greater than the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans extended to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city, the prime rate. And whereas the Banking Commission notes for the record that as of May 13, 2021, said prime rate stands at 3.25% as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. And whereas it is in the city's best interest to encourage the prompt payment of real estate taxes by all taxpayers, and whereas the number of semi-annual properties assessed value greater than $250,000 interest rate increased from 8,058 in fiscal 2020 to 9,623 in fiscal 21, or a 19.4% increase. The Banking Commission does not believe this increase is attributable to the 18% penalty rate, which has not changed in decades. And whereas the city's overall late payment rate, both quarterly and semi-annual property, decreased from 12.66% to 9.89%, or 21.88%. There continues to be a positive impact on New York City revenue when considering interest paid for both semi-annual and quarterly accounts of $49.3 million, offset by the negative $1.2 million of foregone interest investment revenue, resulting in a positive $48.1 million net revenue. There is no compelling reason for the Banking Commission to either raise or lower the penalty rate in fiscal year 2022 for semi-annual payers. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of real estate taxes where the assessed value of a property is more than $450,000 or more than $450,000 per residential unit for co-ops remain at 18% per annum for fiscal 2022. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Our fourth item on our agenda is transferring of Popular Bank Banking Development District deposit. The next agenda item is the transferring of a Popular Bank BDD deposit from the now closed East Houston Street branch, formerly located at 310 East Houston Street in the Lower East Side neighborhood in Manhattan, to its Delancey Street branch located at 134 Delancey Street, also in the Lower East Side neighborhood of Manhattan, approximately 0.4 miles from the former East Houston Street branch and within the existing Lower East Side BDD. The East Houston Street branch closed on January 29, 2021. The New York State Department of Financial Services, DFS, prior to the East Houston Street branch closure, conducted an analysis of the branch's description of its performance and the bank's asserted commitment to continuing to serve the BDD community from the Delancey Street branch. DFS had determined that the East Houston Street branch made sufficient progress in fulfilling its banking development goals during the 2020 renewal period for DFS to recommend that the East Houston Street branch be granted approval to transfer the state's $10 million BDD deposit to the Delancey Street branch. Based on DFS's recommendation, the Commission recommends that the city's $10 million BDD deposit, currently located at the former Houston Street branch, be transferred to Popular Bank's Delancey Street branch. Resolution number 5, Popular Bank BDD deposit transfer. Whereas Popular Bank's East Houston Street branch, located at 310 East Houston Street in the Lower East Side neighborhood in Manhattan, was closed on January 29, 2021, and whereas the East Houston Street branch held a city BDD deposit of $10 million, and whereas based on the recommendation of the New York State Department of Financial Services, the Commission recommends that the city's $10 million BDD deposit be transferred to the bank's Delancey Street branch, located at 134 Delancey Street, also in the Lower East Side neighborhood of Manhattan, approximately 0.4 miles from the former East Houston Street branch and within the existing Lower East Side BDD. Therefore, be it resolved, the Banking Commission approves the transfer of the city's $10 million BDD deposit from Popular Bank's now closed East Houston Street branch to its Delancey Street branch. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. The fifth item on our agenda, Popular Bank Banking Development District deposit. The last agenda item is a request by Popular Bank for a $10 million BDD deposit at the bank's East Harlem BDD branch located at 164 East 16th Street in Manhattan. This is Popular Bank's fourth BDD branch, approved by the New York State Department of Financial Services. At the bank's request, the state of New York recently made a below market rate $10 million BDD deposit at this branch on April 16, 2021. The Commission recommends that the City of New York make a $10 million deposit at the Popular Bank East Harlem BDD branch. Resolution number 6, Popular Bank BDD deposit. Whereas Popular Bank has requested that the City of New York make a $10 million deposit at its East Harlem BDD branch located at 164 East 116th Street in Manhattan. Therefore, be it resolved, the Banking Commission approves a $10 million city BDD deposit at the Popular Bank East Harlem BDD branch. May I please have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion carried. Other business items. Does anyone have any additional items to discuss before we conclude this meeting?
No.
Okay. Having completed the business of this meeting, can someone please make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Can someone please second the motion?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. The Banking Commission meeting of May 13th, 2021 is adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.